Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bartłomiej Janiak, and welcome to the Teacher Training Academy 2023. I hope that you can hear me and that you can see the slides. If you could use your chat and type something in the chat, then I would appreciate it. Okay, Irina, nice to have you here. Hi from Romania. The Mexico morning, yes. So the people are joining, the chat is working fine, and the sound is okay. The image, the visuals are okay. So it seems that we are ready to spend around 50 minutes in Teacher Training Academy 2023 webinar. Hi from Georgia, Panama, Alexandra, good to have you with us. Okay, so as a basic introduction, this is the last webinar in the series of the Teacher Training Academy 2023. We started in March and we were delivering a webinar a month, the twice a day, just to match various time zones. We tried to cover two, I would say, dimension of exam preparation course for Pearson English International Certificate. One of them is the Strength Computer-Based Test Masters, and the other one is named Computer-Based Teaching Experts. So we are trying not only to equip with the knowledge on how to work with students effectively, how to prepare them effectively, but at the same time, we wanted to equip with the knowledge of the potential things that educators could do differently within the teaching and learning reality. So hence we had sessions on growth mindset, on mental simulations, on self-efficacy with students, and of course we had skills-based sessions. Hi Miroslava from Bulgaria, nice to have you here. And today is the session on computer-based test best practice. So today I will share with you our experience of what extra elements should be included within the preparation course, as you might be working with students who will be taking international certificate at some time. And these are the things that could potentially help them to take this test. And we'll concentrate, especially today, we'll concentrate on the option of taking international certificate test from home, so online, because if they go to the accredited testing center, everything is arranged. International certificate has got an option to take it online. So for example, if there is a student and there is no testing center in the neighborhood, there is an option that they can take the test from home, but it means extra responsibility on their side, and this responsibility and elements with this responsibility they should be addressed in the preparation course, so that the whole exam procedure would go as smoothly as possible. Please remember that on the Teacher Training Academy website, and I hope that you already that you should know it, because this is the place where you register, you will find the digital notebook, that you will find the session abstracts, and you will find an optional homework, because we prepared an optional homework that would accompany every session so that you could test the knowledge in the reality. And today I'm gonna finish the webinar with this optional homework. Computer-based test best practice. Just one word when it comes to administration. Early next week, those who attend the webinar will get an email from me. You'll get the certificates there, and you'll get a feedback survey, and you'll get some extra materials that I'll be talking about throughout this webinar. So getting into the computer-based test reality, now there is a question. So imagine that these are your students that you are having right now. And let's suppose that they will be taking international certificate within several months, within half a year or year, doesn't really matter. But the question is, what things are certainly new for my students when it comes to computer-based testing? If you could use your chat and share some thoughts and comments on this question. So what things are certainly new for my students when it comes to computer-based testing? The computer on which they will proceed. Thanks, Isabel, especially when we talk about testing from home. Tools found to take the test, okay? The recording questions, dictations, yeah, because maybe they've never had the experience of performing in this reality. The speaking part, of course, because they might be not used to perform in front of the computer. Okay, the grammar correction, yes. So whenever the challenge is on one of the skills-based activities, like for example, you mentioned speaking and reading, please remember that on the Teacher Training Academy website, right now it's updated and all the recordings of all the sessions are there. So for example, if you mentioned speaking issues or the elements with grammar or reading, etc., feel free to find a recording addressing the appropriate skills, because we've delivered 4 sessions on speaking, writing, listening, and reading activities. How can you help your students? How can you work with your students? And just you can treat it as an inspiration. Typing speed in writing. Thanks a lot, Bikram, because maybe the students are not used to typing, I would say, effectively, because they were doing their written homework in handwriting. And since the computer-based test, the knowledge of English, it's one element and typing is the other element. So I appreciate your comment. And typing, at least it should be not taught if you are not the expert, but at least it should be addressed during the preparation course that, for example, they have like a 1 year ahead of them. And through this year, will go only for written activities, but they all will be typed with a spell checker off, because the students will not have a spell checker during the test. So just to help them not only with the knowledge, but with the skills. When you group the knowledge that should be conveyed in the preparation course, apart from the language skills, which are the priority, because this is the core, yeah, they test their knowledge, their skills. So there are some extra elements, the things that they need to know, the things that should happen before the test, and the things that should happen during the test, okay? So before the test, it's a no-brainer. Test format, question type, time management, and technical requirements. And as I've already told you, we had sessions on skill building activities. So feel free to watch, if you missed some of the session, to watch it just to get inspiration and see what things you can implement within a particular skill. In the email from me, you'll get a certificate, you'll get a feedback, but you'll also get from me, from this webinar, the links, because the link is visible on the slide, but don't worry, you don't have to copy it. I will just put them in the email as well, so that you'll have the clickable access immediately, because there is an international certificate site for the educators and for the test takers. And you should know this website for the test takers as well, because you'll find there free documents, PDF documents, that you should download yourself, just basically to equip yourself with the knowledge that should be available to the test takers. So the easy option is, like, when you do the preparation course, you just say a test taker, hey, this is the website, these are the documents, just download the documents, study the documents, etc. The level up option is like an educator is familiar with those documents, is using those documents in the preparation course and is addressing elements from these documents just to prepare students more effectively. So you'll find all the list of the question types. When you download the test tips guide, you'll have all the question types, you'll have the examples, and you'll have the tips that we prepared, how to work effectively in order to practice those question types within the teaching reality, because as you probably know, and we've mentioned it several times ago, international certificate doesn't require any specialized book, so any specific language course book. Okay, you can use any general language course book, and you can teach general English. And within this education protocol, you need to supplement those elements with the examples of question types, with the examples of skills, just to offer exposure for the students, so that they would be ready not only from the language perspective, but they will be accustomed to the things that are expected when they take international certificate. So as you download the test tip guide, you'll have no shortage of alternatives on effective tips. This is just the sample I've taken from one of the pages. The second option, this is for those who are more visual and auditory, so they like listening, not reading. So we've prepared two films that actually present question types that are found in the international certificate. Just a sample, 1 minute for you to see how it looks like.
I enjoy hiking, so I like going for long walks in the mountains, and I also enjoy photography and baking. This hotel is perfect for families with children. Its facilities include rooms with sea views, a restaurant with a special menu designed for kids, a huge swimming pool, and a kids club which provides a wide range of fun activities. What's more, the hotel is just a few minutes walk away from a beautiful beach. This picture shows the inside of a library, maybe at a school or a university. There are two people talking loudly, and the librarian is telling them to be quiet and pointing at the sign. In the back, we can see two people who look annoyed.
Yeah, so the two films recorded how you can use it. Either you can just transfer the link to the students, or you can use the video in class just as a introductory. Here, these are the question types that you'll have to do during while taking the test. Are you familiar with them? What are the challenges that you might face with those activities, just to build exposure and familiarity? So the films are ready, and you will get the links as well, although I truly believe that you can find them easily online. The third option is, because the international certificate is an online test, it means that there are no exam windows, unlike the paper version. So it means you can book it 24/7, and candidates can take it through the whole year. They don't have to wait half a year for the next exam window. So it comes with a great opportunity, this flexibility that you can suggest the appropriate time and date, place, time and date, especially when you take the test from home. But it's also a bit of a challenge, because as an educators, we need to make sure it would be good, at least, to make sure that those candidates are ready to take the test. It means that they've gained sufficient knowledge, experience, they've been fully informed, that they know what's going to happen, but most importantly, the language level is okay for the particular level on a test. So please remember, and I hope that you already know it, at least from name. If not, you'll find extra information as well from me in the email, that we have something which is called the readiness test. The readiness test is a very clear, transparent, with the color coding element, that it's aimed to measure whether the candidate is ready to take the international certificate. So while taking this test, they are, as you see on the screen, they are being evaluated on all the skills in 3 simple formats: if the candidate's ready, potentially ready, or not ready. And now looking at the score that you see on the screen, imagine that this is your candidate and they take the readiness test and they get the result like this and they talk with you about this result. As an educator, as a teacher, would you recommend this student taking international certificate? Would you say that, yeah, go ahead, you can book your test, you're ready? Thanks a lot. Not yet. Yes. And this is what that, yes, Isabel, as well. Appreciate your comment, because this is something, as I told you about the booking flexibility is of a great advantage. So it means that, for example, today is the 30th of November and there is no exam window. For example, like if the candidate will not take the international certificate within the next 2 weeks, it means that he or she will need to wait another 8 months or 4 months for the next exam session. Nope. In this type of situation, you just engage in a conversation, as you pointed out, and say, okay, you are ready when it comes to the listening and speaking, and this is the confidence. However, I think we should work, as you pointed out, on some weaknesses or challenges when it comes to the writing and especially reading. Because it's if the readiness test suggests that you are not ready, it means that those activities will be challenging and basically you might not get a desired score. So please remember about the readiness test. It's also remember to something which is called guarantee to pass. So this is the action that we are having right now, and it's worth using it. So if a candidate takes the readiness test and he gets a green overall ready score, and then within a month, and then if he or she within a month takes international certificate based test, and for some reason, if they fail, then they are eligible for a free second test at the same level if they don't pass the first time. So this is the reason it's good to make use of this opportunity and to introduce the readiness test, because this is the option that allows them to get a second chance for free if for some reason they fail. Okay, and you'll find more information in the email from me about guarantee to pass, and this is also available. You can get the leaflet on from the International Certificate official website. Okay. Some students are overstressed. Yeah, so feel free to watch one of the sessions where actually I deliver the session on stress management. But yes, I believe that it could reduce the element of stress, at least financially. Okay, they would say, okay, so if I stumble, there is another chance for me to do it. And probably they might not stumble at all. But yes, the element of stress might be reduced. Good option. Appreciate, Isabel. Then there is a thing to download on your mobile phone to play with it and to share that with the students. So the warm-up app on iOS and Android, which is a free of charge application we design. It's designed as a self-study material, but I don't see any challenges against using them within the language class. For example, you can come up with a creative solution of individual study class, even within the class, when you allow your students to take their mobile phones, to open up the application, to select the activities they want to practice, and you allow some time, depending on how much time you want to devote, and you allow them to do it individually, and then you can work on them with the challenges that they faced in a particular activities. So the app is for free. What I really enjoyed when I was playing with it some time ago is like you have a chance. So all the question types are available there. You can record your answer. You can listen to your answer. You can also listen to the model answer. The feedback is very simple. So if there are correct or incorrect options, then it's clearly visible. And there are model answers recorded. So it's basically worth using it and worth sharing it with the future candidates for the international certificate. The fourth option, have you had a chance to download those lesson plan ideas, skill building activities? Yes or no? If you could just type it in the chat. Okay, first person, no, nope. So I hope that you will make use of them. So they are available on this website. Do not worry, you'll get the link from me. But this is official Teacher Training Academy, Pearson Teacher Training Academy website. What we did is we created skill building activities for all the question types that are found in the international certificates. Once you download, and the audio is also ready there, you'll have a nicely created PDFs with the strategies for success, with a very detailed explanation of a particular question type. But what's most important for me, and I really appreciate it, is that there are some lesson activities, different activities for a particular question type on all the levels. So for example, if it's like short answer question, you will find there prepared activities for A1 students, and you'll find ready-made activities for the advanced C1 and C2 students with the answer key, plus some extra suggestions. What could you do in the language class to teach for the international certificate? So you could be using the general English course book, and you could be supplementing the general English course books with the skill building activities. Thanks a lot, Samantha, for the link. So they are for free. All you need to do is basically you will download them and you will get the link from me in the email as well. So skill building activities worth getting. I know that we know that there are some people already downloading it because we can see it from the website movement. And the last but not least is the clickable demo, which is also for free, and you don't have to. We made this option even simple that you don't have to log in. You can access it without the sign up. So this is the simple clickable demo that you basically can click through all the question types that appear in the international certificate. This demo is not giving you a feedback, but it allows the test takers to experience those question types. And either they can do it individually at home as an element of getting familiarity with international certificate, or you can have it on screen during the individual classes or even the group classes on the projector, and you can cover the question type one by one just to supplement extra material. So this clickable demo is also ready. And the last part that should be addressed in a sense are the technical requirements. And yes, I know that we are not IT specialists, but I believe that it's a sign of a good practice of a preparation course, because we have two options. Either we can say something like, okay, my role as an educator is to equip you with the language knowledge. The technical requirements, the registration procedures are not my problem. Handle it yourself. Okay, so you leave a candidate, I would say, not without support, but you give the autonomy. And in this situation, I think that we can easily implement those bits of knowledge within the preparation course to make this preparation more effective, especially when they take the test from home, because their responsibility is much higher because they will be using their own technical environment. So the first element is the system test. You will get one of the links will allow you to run a system test yourself, basically to see how it works. So the recommendation is to do it at least 2 times. My personal recommendation is like do it even 3 times. So the 1 week before the test, few days before the test, and you'll have to run the system test on the same day just before running the real international certificate. So why is it recommended to do it at least twice? Because, okay, the system test is a no-brainer, gives you the description that, yes, your computer is compatible with the Pearson view requirements, which means that you can take the test effectively, because it's nothing worse than having a well-prepared student from the language perspective, taking the test and not being able to take the test because he or she missed some elements about technical requirements. So please remember that the same situation with our own computers. There are some applications that function in the background and they make automatic updates, which on a daily basis is very comfortable for us because we don't have to pay attention to it. However, those automatic updates could get into the conflict with technical requirements. So once you take when you do the system check on Monday, then after 2 or 3 days, it could have your computer could have some automatic updates, and the next system check will tell you that hey, there is an issue. You need to settle this issue before you take the test. The second option is also this message is displayed in the system check, and it's very obvious, but yet sometimes our wonderful learners have a tendency to remember everything and forget everything. So I guess it wouldn't harm a preparation course if you just made sure that if you made sure that students know this information, saying that yes, when you run the system check, make sure that you will be using the same computer, the same internet connection on a test day. Because for some reason, they could take the system test on computer A, and then 2 weeks later, they could exchange the computer with a different one because something happened with the previous one. And then, surprise, surprise, the technical requirement will not match, okay? The third option, because I assume that some of you might be dealing with adult learners, that they learn their English to excel at their professions. And some of them, especially when you work from home, they use work computers. They are not the best option for this type of activities, international certificates, especially because of the VPNs and because of the different firewalls. So if possible, it's not recommended to take international certificate on work computers. It's better to have it on private computers. This is just the recommendation because of those VPNs, etc. Okay, so system check is very simple. It takes few minutes. So the microphone, speakers, the webcam, the background noise. So we'll talk about the background noise, the wired internet. Of course, this is the top recommendation. The network check whether the network connection is stable. And yes, as you pointed out, go for the wired connection. And you need to tell your students this element if they will be taking the test from home. And you can say, yes, I know that they're using Wi-Fi all the time and it has never jammed, I'm sure, but please get a cable and connect your computer through the cable, at least for this exam, because of the stability of the connection. And the system check, this is the system check taken from my computer. And as you can see, I wasn't able to complete the system check because these are the things that we are using daily basis. So the Microsoft Teams was working in the background, which I wasn't aware of. On a different occasion, I had Microsoft Teams, I had Skype, I had Zoom, and one more application that could interfere with the exam protocol from the technological perspective. So that's why it's recommended to run the system check, just to be safe, be on the safe side that nothing will happen when it comes to taking the test effectively from the technological perspective. The system check, as you pointed out, go for the wired connection. If for some reason the candidate says, okay, I cannot use wired, I don't have a cable, etc., and they are taking the test from home, and there are different people living with them, so they need to be very open and make a clear clear statement to the members of the family that they shouldn't be using the internet during the time of the test. Okay, just to make sure that this internet connection is as fast as possible and as stable as possible. Because I could be taking the test from room A, my brother could start for some reason out of boredom downloading films, downloading advanced graphic, or using the graphic designer program, which will weaken and consume the asset of the wireless internet connection. That could affect my exam, okay? So if this information is not provided to the remaining group living in the same flat, in the same home, then I guess they wouldn't see anything against using their own mobile phones because they are constantly connected to the wireless network, okay? And disconnect any VPNs. Another one, and this is the source of some of the challenges that we faced, the testing space. Now the question to you, please look around at the place that you are sitting right now. Okay, just look around and tell me using the chat, do you think this place is good for taking international certificate exam? That imagine that you are the potential test takers. Just look around and tell me, okay, someone said nope, and why not? If you say no, then why not? Yes, it is. The child is running around. Yes, I'm in a dining room. It's too noisy. Okay, yes, it's it's a distraction. So this is the message, and I will give you one inspiration. How can you turn it into a nice activity within the language class? Yes, I'm sure, Maria. Okay, that's good. So what you need to teach potential test takers is that once they make a decision to take it online from home, for this particular occasion, they need to transform their place into the examination room. So they need to do everything to make this room exam friendly. So yes, the family member, and this is what I'm talking about. It may sound obvious, but looking at the experience, some people have the tendency to remember and forget about it. So it needs to be in the enclosed private space. It means in privacy, and no other people can enter the room, even for a second. The silence. Yes, haunted house silence. Okay, so I hope it won't get too spooky. So if there are other people living in the same place, you need to tell them that this is the real deal exam and they cannot be entering room even for a small thing like normally happens. Like I'm running the webinar and there is a person entering the room and saying, oh, sorry, Joe, I'm just looking for a pen. I'm gone. Nothing serious. The online exam is proctored. It means that there is a person observing a candidate. And this is the signal to end the test, because no people could be within the view or within the camera view during the test. The same situation, even if you are taking the test and you're sitting close to the window on the ground floor, and you'll have people passing by, and some people could just stop and start looking at your screen. The candidate is the only person who could look at the screen. No other people can do it. Okay, so this is the element that it needs to be addressed. The second option, because before the test, during the check-in, they will have to take 4 pictures of the surrounding space, and those photographs will be examined. So it means that if you have some language speaking posters, some course books, mobile phones, some bags lying on a desk close to you, they should be removed before the test. So basically what candidates need to do, they need to transform their living space into the exam space. And creative activity for a class is, for example, without telling them about the requirements in the first place, you just tell them to take a photo of their study place at home, and then you have this random images, and then you discuss as a group, asking them that, do you think that this is a good exam place? Yes, no, what are the challenges? What are the potential dangers? What are the things that could cancel the test? So you can have a nice language speaking activity, you can work on the good vocabulary, and at the same time, you can convey really practical knowledge of what they need to do before the test. But in order to do this, you need to have, as an educator, you need to have the knowledge of the things which are prohibited within the neighborhood of a testing space, about the sound, about the people, etc., etc., etc. Okay, ID, it needs to be valid. It mustn't be a copy. The name and the surname, they must be the same as the one used in registrations, and the photo should be recognizable, and the candidate will be asked to take the photo as well. So ID, passport, driver's license, etc. So those elements are considered to be best practice. And for example, in the medical industry, in some of the hospitals, unfortunately, I believe in private hospitals, but in public hospitals as well, sometimes there is a procedure which is aimed at reducing stress and just equipping the patient with a comfort that the patient is waiting for the medical procedure. And before the medical procedure, a doctor or a nurse or a medical assistant comes in for a conversation with a patient, and this person is telling him about the procedure that is going to take place within the nearest future. What will happen? What are the steps? What are the actions taken? What they can expect of the things happening there, if it's gonna be full coma, if it's gonna be partial anesthesia, if it's gonna, how many people will be there, what are their responsibilities, etc., etc., etc. So this, so that this person is equipped with the knowledge of the process. And we believe it's also, it might be a good practice to supplement preparation course with this type of process spiel. So telling the candidates that, okay, we've worked on your language skills through this year or half a year. So now there is a time to revise the process that you will have to go through before taking international certificate. So please remember about the check-in. If you have questions before, just get to me. Okay, please remember about the technical requirements. Let's talk once again about the study space. Be aware of the ID that you need to have with you. If you're underage, please remember that at the very beginning of the test, there needs to be a person with you with their own ID, just to provide consent for you to take the test, and then they will have to leave immediately the room. Please remember to inform the remaining people of your house not to enter the room, etc., etc., just to explain the process to your candidates. And then there is an option of the things that they need to remember while they take the test. 3 most important, which are the reason of some of the challenges that you might have a really good student, but because of one of those reasons, they might not clear international certificate, but something happens. The camera, okay? So can you try to come up with some options? What things should they remember about when it comes to the camera and online testing? If you could use your chat. Please remember that the exam is proctored, so it means it's being recorded, but there is a person observing test taker. So why is it important to have the knowledge on? Yes, they need to test as with all the equipment, but technical check is testing the camera. That's it. Yes, that's true. What else? Yes, it must be in private room, not like a coffee place, not like a lobby in a hotel where you have like a people around. Yes, that's true. Yes, Miranda, they need to be in front of the camera. This is the point. So as you are observing me, imagine that not looking around. That's true. And this is the point, because looking around, it's a very natural. Yes, not looking at the time, watch o'clock. Looking around is natural because you search for an inspiration. So imagine there is a traditional language class, exam room. Students are sitting by the desk and you are the exam officer monitoring the test. And suddenly you look at the students and they do the writing and just they turn their head right and upwards and just they think and they search for an inspiration, which is natural. But you are the examiner and with your eyes, you just monitor all the exam hall. So you know that the walls are empty and there is nothing hidden on the ceiling. So like extra projector displaying a message. In online reality, for the proctor, the exam room is the camera view. Okay, this is what they see. So if I work on the online test and then if I turn my head left and just look sideways and think about it, I could then say that I was searching for inspiration, etc., etc. It won't count. For the proctor, this is the signal that you are looking away and potentially there could be something fraudulent in this behavior because there could be someone or that could be some hidden message or a poster or whatever thing that could be under the category of cheating. So this is the international certificate, recognizable certificate, real deal exam. So we go to great lengths to minimize the risk of any fraudulent behavior. So it's not like being 100% focused with your eyes not moving, but basically your candidates need to be aware that once they take the test, they sit in front of the computer, they look, they face the computer and they look in front of the computer with their eyes. The second option, visibility and movement. Since the testing room is the camera view, this type of activities, the movement activities are not acceptable. So for example, you take the test and suddenly, as I did right now, you disappear from the screen camera view and then you turn back. I don't know, the pen just dropped down or whatever you wanted just to make sure, or a cramp, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't really count. During the test, you cannot go off the camera view because for the proctor, it's a signal that some not acceptable action has just taken place. The same situation with covering the camera, okay? If you want just to readjust the camera, you cover it with your hand, etc., etc. Make sure to convey this message to your test takers that this is prohibited. Okay. Communication, it's obvious. You've talked about it. You cannot communicate with anyone around, like asking questions like, could you be please quiet? No, that's too late. Well, you should have informed the other people not to enter examination room in the first place, just as in reality, in a traditional paper-based exams, no one is entering the examination room, like your friends, your family, etc., etc. If you want to communicate with the proctor, there is a chat icon, okay? And you can contact the proctor only when it comes to the technical difficulties. You cannot talk about exam, cannot ask exam-oriented questions, okay? Control plus and control minus, this is a chance for a candidate to enlarge the screen if there is a need, okay? So this is just a small element. The headset, obvious, but yet at the same time, worth remembering that once you readjust your headset, make sure it's wired. They cannot use Bluetooth headsets because of the battery, because of the connection, and some other reasons. But once you adjust your headset, please don't play with the microphone, okay? Don't cover your microphone like this. Don't keep it too close because you'll see that it affects the sound to a great deal, okay? Don't turn away your microphone, especially when under stress, okay? Just, it needs to be a bit of habitual. So you've got the headset ready, they've been tested, you've been using it for a while. Once you adjust at the very beginning, you go through the test, just keep it stable on your head. That's it. And the final part, the mobile phone, because actually the candidates, they will have to use mobile during the check-in because they will have to take the headshot, their headshot, so that the picture will be compared with the ID to make sure that this is the same person taking the test. And they will have to take pictures of the testing space. So that's why it's very important to convey the message that it needs to be cleared, it needs to look like a typical exam room. But once they complete the check-in, during the test, it needs to be that the mobile phone needs to be kept out of arm's reach. So no incoming calls, no outbound calls. If there is a technical issue, the Pearson view could contact the test taker, and there is a specific one only number that could contact this person. And in this situation, yes, they can answer the phone. In all other situations, just for a check-in, to clear the check-in, and then it should be kept out of arm's reach. Okay. And as I told you a few minutes ago, during the test, there is a chat icon. They can use the chat icon if they are experiencing some technical difficulties, but they cannot ask the proctor and communicate with the proctor about the content of the test, about the language aspects, okay? The final option, yes, in the preparation course, it's good to convey this message as well, that they need to finish the test as it is supposed to finish, with all the clicks, with all the procedures till the very end, okay? If for some reason they will be too fast, they will take the sound. You see, thanks a lot, Maria. So thanks a lot for this information. So adjust the sound. You see, the sound was very good at the very beginning. Then I started playing with the microphone, and then I lost the quality. So that's why you shouldn't be playing with the mic. This is the real life example. Thanks a lot for it. So they should finish the test with the following all the procedures till the very end. It's not like doing the last question type and closing the screen of the computer, thinking that the exam is ready. They risk losing the test if they don't follow the procedure till the very end. And the final part, I once heard a funny metaphor that life is like a cable tie that you cannot go backwards. And the same with the international certificate. They all they can do is to go forward with the question types. So they cannot have second thoughts and say like, okay, but this item type that I cleared 5 minutes ago, I right now know that there is a different answer and I'd like to go back. No, they cannot do it. So the only possibility for them is to move forward during the test. And if they have never taken computer-based exam before, they might not be familiar with this type of functionality. Because if through the previous years they've been doing the paper versions only, so it was quite habitual and natural for them to turn back the page and turn back the page again and to correct something. They cannot do it in the computer-based test. So once they clear, they finish a particular question type, they move forward and they cannot go back. So to sum it up, things to remember starting from the top left corner. Please make sure that the computer is charged and it's plugged in. That's it. It's basic, but yet under the stress, imagine that you start taking the test with the 15% of your battery and basically computer dies halfway through. Okay, simple mistake, but costly mistake. Okay, so make sure to plug in. Don't wear your watch or a smartwatch. Why? Because smartwatches right now could display complete emails, etc. And for the proctor, it's not it's not possible to check all the watches all the time and to make sure that you're not getting an SMS or you're not reading the regular or irregular forms of the verbs. Okay, so once you take the test, make sure you clear and remove watches. You don't wear any watches and they are not in the neighborhood. Keep your eyes in front of the camera, observe the monitor, just make sure to search for the inspiration without your moving your head away. Pay attention to windows, because sometimes the windows could be open, close to the street, and the noise could affect the quality of your recordings. And especially if you have some people that could stop in and look into your computer, because this is our natural curiosity to observe what other people are doing. You cannot do it during the test. You cannot have people in the room, okay? If you're experiencing difficulties, use the chat. System check 2 or 3 times, okay? The one in the middle, remember that the camera view is your testing space. So do not move. Do not go away. Do not go outside the camera view. Once you adjust your headsets, the wired ones, don't play with them. Don't touch the microphone. Make the adjustments before the test. Clean up your desks. So transform your living space into the exam space. And if the candidate is underage, at the very beginning, there needs to be a person with his or her ID to give consent. And then once this procedure is over, they need to leave the room immediately. Okay, so these are the basic best practice strategies that should be. It would be good to include them in the preparation course, because as I told you at the very beginning, the key element is to prepare the key element is to work on the language, to work on the skills, so that to improve the command of English. But if they fail to remember the technical requirements, if they fail to remember about the procedures, this is something we don't want to have during the test. Okay, so you can do real benefit, and you can offer a real benefit to your students when you equip them with this knowledge. Because a different story is you can just reduce the responsibility and tell them, do it yourself, it's your responsibility. But once you address those issues in the preparation course, then I believe the quality of this preparation course will be much higher. And this is the optional homework. If you can try it. Deliver the lesson on the computer-based test taken from home. Just try to make it fun, try to make it attractive. Talk about taking the test from home, looking at the procedures, looking at the requirements, and at the same time, play with the language, work with the language, okay? So that will be all when it comes to this final webinar, because this is the last webinar in the whole 1-year series. I really appreciate your presence, your interactivity. I hope that you found some inspiration. What could you do and how can you help students to take it, to address not only language skills, but those procedural skills as well. Yeah, the millennials are tech savvy. Thanks a lot. So you'll get by the beginning of next week, you'll get an email from me with all the links. So study the materials, equip yourself with the knowledge so that you'll have great comfort in transferring the knowledge towards your students. Thanks a lot once again for being with me. Enjoy the rest of your day and look forward to the news on 2024 Teacher Training Academy, because right now we are preparing some special events for the next year, and soon you will hear from us about those initiatives. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate your presence. And let's stay in touch. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Happy holiday. Same to you.